Hello, Mary Meat. So, I want to review a book. The book I want to review is Magickal Rebirth by Eira McIntyre. Awaken the witch within, harness the power of the occult. This is one of the various self-published books. I like to pick up these sometimes, both because there's some real gems that just haven't been accepted by the major publishing houses, and also because I like to have some pieces in my collection that are not one of the standard usual ones, the Scott Cunningham books and the Gareth Gardner books and all of the various ones that everybody has, but something that gives a perspective from the side. So let's dig in, shall we? Here's there are a few photographs in the book. They are not very good quality ones, but they can be nice to have. It discusses this author, and this book has religious witchcraft, but it's not directly Wiccan based. The author considers herself to be an eclectic pagan, which is more or less what I do. I say eclectic neo-pagan, though I sometimes refer to myself as a Wiccan because it makes it easy, because at least that people have heard about, and it's close enough. I generally consider myself to be an eclectic pagan, or in this case a neo-pagan, because not every type of pagan is the same, but neo-pagan is within that sphere. So let's have a look-see, shall we? It contains about the author. We have an introduction to magic, which has defining the craft, what it really means to be a witch, rules of magic, sacred text and power words, secrets ingredients to unlocking the power inside of you, and a magic exercise which visualize, grow, and thrive. Basically, it gives you the author's definition. And this is one of the reasons why it's important. Excuse me, my phone decided to make a sound. I thought I had put it on silent. There we go. Go away. Sorry about that. Anyway, why it's important to read many different books, because each author have their own definitions. They have their own ideas. So, for example, what is magic? This is not some sort of scientific fact that we have all agreed on, and each author have their own opinion about what magic is. So, yeah, we go to that chapter. Where was it? The rules of magic. Basically, she has the idea of things being sent back. Basically, the whole threefold law thing, which of course I don't agree with, which I have said before. Some ideas about what sort of words you should use and how you should look at magic. And it's not bad, it's the basic stuff, but it doesn't necessarily fit for you. But it's important to read many different definitions to be able to, from that, create your own. The exercises are pretty good. So, moving on. The importance of tools. Which then have... and the chapters are not very long. This isn't a very big book. It basically just goes through with a little blurb about each tool. Basically, and what it does and what it symbolizes. But it's just one little blurb about each one of them. We have buying, we have making your own, basic list of tools and significance, your sacred space, magic exercise, cleansing your space, and magic exercise, perform the consecration. Basically, this gives you a little ritual for cleansing your space and for doing a consecration, which can be useful, especially if you are a new witch and haven't done this before, and some information about basic neo-pagan witchcraft tools. Then you have chapter 2, getting to know the elements, which you have attained a deeper understanding of the world, and Magick exercise fire spell. And I like this section. It goes through both what the various elements symbolizes and how they should feel to you. Then you have casting circles. You have the purpose of circles, important steps in casting, and you have an exercise for create your first circle, which is also nice to have. You have how to release a circle. You have chapter 4 Sabbats, which goes through the Sabbats with little ritual work and also what they signify. Then you have chapter 5 Pantheons, which has compartmentalizing the divine, the Greek pantheon, Hindu pantheon, Celtic pantheon, discovering your own pantheon. I like the ideas where it comes to discovering your own pantheon. I will just this quick going through of the Greek, Hindu, and Celtic pantheon. That's just too shallow. It doesn't really work. You have conclusion, practice makes the witch, and excerpts from book 2, because this is a book 1. So, what do I think about this book? It's not bad, it's what it is. It's not very big. It has only 96 pages. And the writing, which is one thing that's usually a part of all of these self-published books, at least the ones I have gotten from Amazon, is that the script is very, very big. It goes through the basic concepts for working neo-pagan magic and working with neo-pagan spirituality. It will give you what you need to get going. The aspects, working with energy, working with elements, the basic tools, the ideas of spirituality and gods, and the start for how to define and develop your own morality within magic. It gives you those things, but it goes through them rather shallowly because it's a very short book and there's a lot of topics. I do think that books such as Big Blue, Wicca Guide to the Solitary Practitioner, the various green witch books. There's a lot of these starting books that gives you so much more than this one that has so few pages. But it's not the worst start you could use. I do think that if you get this as your first book on pagan spirituality, then you will be hungry for more very, very quickly. It will give you the basics. It might be a good book to give to family and friends that are curious about what the hell are you doing, because this book with that big script and only 96 pages will not take you long to read through. It will be a very, very quick read. And as such, it might give them an idea about what you're doing, and it will all seem a lot less frightening. So that might be a good thing. I also think it's a good book to read because it's nice to get various forms of perspectives. So getting several starting books and going through them can be useful because it might save you from the I have read every book by this author and now my views are indistinguishable from that author's views syndrome that you can meet among beginner pagans a lot of the time. And so, yes, basically getting, and this is a cheap book. It was under $10. I think it was like $7 or so. So it's a cheap way to get a new perspective. For what it isn't bad, but of course, with so few pages and so many topics, it does not go into a lot of detail on each topic. It will do the job, but if you are watching this trying to look for some book to get you started in neo-paganism, I think that there are better books out there. But like I said, for what it is, it's not bad. I'll give it 7 out of 10. And yeah, the image on the cover makes it look a lot more like this is about ritual magic, but it isn't. This is neo-pagan religious witchcraft. Just so we are clear about that. And yeah, I think it's a perfectly okay read. It's not a book that stands out in any way, but it's perfectly okay. And that is my review of Magickal Rebirth, Awaken the Witch Within, and Harness the Power of the Occult by Eira McIntyre. I hope you have enjoyed this review. Have a great day, and blessed be.